Welcome back to Do-It-Myself Garage. Should be more like welcome back to Disaster Garage. Hey Roxy. I let her up here a second ago. I won't subject you to a cleanup video again. But man, project's over winter. It's a little cold to work out in the garage. I end up out here and throw everything on the workbench. Yeah, I got work I need to do on the GTO. It's almost the end of February here, so I want to get working on that. So February, March, get her going, get her ready for the car season. I got a bunch of stuff on my list to do. So let's get the garage cleaned up, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the GTO. Roxy. All right. Welcome back to Do-It-Myself Garage. Wrong hand. Welcome back to Do-It-Myself Garage. Well, I've managed to clean up most of my stuff. I only have 2 left gloves. What are you doing, Roxy? What are you doing? What are you doing? No, you're not going inside. You've been inside all winter. Let's go play. Is there a truck coming? Is that the UPS truck? Should we eat them? Welcome back to Do-It-Myself Garage. You can see I got some shelves here. I got some of the garage cleaned up a little bit from the winter disaster. You know, you just keep putting stuff on your workbench as you're working on projects. Anyway, I want to clear out behind the GTO. That's where these shelves are planning on putting them anyway. And kind of better organize my stuff so I end up with less things on the workbench so I can actually use the workbench as a workbench. So anyway, let's get working on that. I am going to be working on the rims, so that's the main part of this video, but let me get these shelves put in place and then get working on these rims. I want to get some new tires. I'm going to 15s, so I bought some 15-inch rims. Let me show you here. I bought some 15x7s. So you can see some of the ones I bought were extremely rusty. That one's a 15x6 somehow that got in my pile, that one on top. But some of them are just nasty rusty. So I do have 4 good, quote, finger quotes, good 15x7s. So I got that one down there that I mostly got cleaned up. That one there I started last night, and then I realized it was kind of late to be making that much noise out in the garage. And then I've got these 2 here I got to get started on. So I'll have 4 rims. I'm going to go, I'll probably put it in the description down below, and maybe I'll show you once I get the tires. A little bit different tires, a little bit bigger in the back, a little smaller in the front. Should help with my stance. Should help with the gearing a little bit because I am going quite a bit bigger. And these 14s, yeah, they're original, but they just, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. And even with 336 gears, I'm turning too many RPMs. So I'm hoping a little taller tire will take care of that. And if nothing else, it'll fill up the wheel well a little bit better. All right, so I've been working on cleaning up these rims a little bit, and I don't know if you can tell here, but there's some definite rust on these, and it's raised. Get around here. It's raised up, and my wire brush is just not doing it. The part that's shiny is actually from some sandpaper. I hit it really good. But I found these polycarbs. Apparently some people online said these are pretty awesome, so let's give it a shot and see how well that cleans that off of there. All right, let's see if see how well this works. Alright, so a grinder just has an abrasive wheel, it's not a cutting wheel, so this will probably do pretty good. All right, let's see if I can clean up the rest of it with the fiber wheel now. All right, let's talk about these rims real quick. So these are 1976, and I've got the date codes, or the manufacturing codes here. And these are 15x7s, made in Canada. And they, all four match. They don't match the manufacturing date identical, but they're the same year, same style. JJ rims, 15x7s. So I've got those two down there, which are in way better shape than this one up here. This one was the worst on the bead. And then this guy over here, he was probably the worst on the inside. So I'm going to get these all cleaned down, get some rust inhibitor in them. I'm still debating. I have a friend that has a sandblaster and can get them powder coated for me for, I think, a decent price. The only problem is these are really not show wheels. They're not original wheels for the car. These are 76. Obviously GTO's a 68. So I don't know that it's really worth having that much work put into them. The only part that you see is going to be this. Okay? And these cleaned up okay. But then, I'll show you this one back here. Oh, no, it's not that one. One of these down here. Yeah, it's this one here. Some really bad surface rust there. Right up onto the thing, but I don't know. I'm thinking with some polishing and some good primer, a guy won't even see that. So I'm not sure that I want to spend the money on powder coating on rims that probably just really aren't worth it. I might have him strip down and powder coat the original 14s, you know, just to have them, but I don't know, that doesn't seem really worth it either. I'll keep the 14s in storage, so if I ever sell the car they can go with it. But these 15s, they're decent rims. There's no damage on any of them, other than, you know, just kind of the bad lip there from the rust. A tire was off the rim and had water in it. So, but these are the four best ones that I have, and I end up with a pile of, you know, buying rims off of Facebook Marketplace, and I ended up with a few rims, and those four are the best. I got one 15x6, which is that one, and he's the better of those other three. Look how rusty that one is. So yeah, I got kind of some bum things, but I think I paid $200 for all 8 of these, so I'm really not worried. I'll get 4 good rims out of it at the very least, and then I'll pass these along to somebody else, you know, real cheap, because he can actually tell the condition with the tires off, and then someone else can make use out of them, make a planter, I don't know. All right, let's get back to cleaning those rims. All right, before I spend 90% of my supplies getting one rim done, I figured I'd go on to the other ones here. I got the other one pretty decent, but I want to clean this up before I burn up all my stuff. This just has a little surface rust on it. Should be pretty good. I already did the other lip, so let's get started here. I kind of like these Velcro pads, but I don't know if it's what I'm doing, but they sure seem to tear up pretty quick. see, I'm not really trying to take any metal off. I'm just trying to take off the rust garbage and try to level it out a little bit. You don't want to thin up this wall where the bead is. But I think that'll work. I'll go around it again with the other brush. I'll do this side as well. But I won't bore you with all that. Come back when I have, probably going to start priming. It's Minnesota, end of March, and it's almost 70. I'm going to try to start the GTO and pick up my granddaughters from the bus stop. Let's see if I can get her started. I don't believe I've had it started this year. Once in a while I'd start her in the garage, but I don't think I've started it since January. So I got the battery hooked up. Let's see if she'll fire up. Might take a little while for the fuel to get up there. I want to do an oil change on it. Yeah, it started up pretty good. We'll check her for leaks and everything, but should be good to go. Get that choke to kick off. That might help her a little bit. I don't know. I still think she sounds pretty good. Okay, still got some body, like I said, got some body work and lines to fix. We redid this back corner, didn't quite get it right. I need to align the bumper still. So I put the body mounts in, that thing's off by quite a bit. Yeah, I got some work to do. I'm not a body man. Heck, I'm probably not even an engine man, but did my best. Well, it's sunny out here, but it's not nearly as warm. Did a bunch of work on the rims. Just a lot of wire wheel, fiber wheels, you name it. I went ahead and hit it with some self-itching primer. I think I got a lot of the defects gone. Sorry about my shadow here. Got a lot of the defects gone, like stuff like this down in the corner. Really not going to see a whole lot. This part here you will, but up in there you won't see with the ring on. So I'm going to come back and hit it with something lighter. Probably just some steel wool to kind of smooth it out. But it took a lot of work to get the beads in shape. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to hit them with the primer so I could see better how I actually did. And they turned out pretty good. I hit the insides with just a flat black just to keep the rust down. Got them mostly clean. Doesn't have to be perfect. They're going to get dirty on the road anyway. I was going to have someone come and really make these nice, but I'd have to start with something a little nicer. I might do it with the originals. If I can verify the date codes match with the car, I might have him go ahead and powder coat those and get those really nice. So I have a set of original 14-inch rims that match the car. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep working on these. I've got a few spots like this where I don't mind the original paint on it, but it kind of chipped out a little bit. So again, some steel wool, kind of sand through some of the primer, kind of even that down a little bit. I thought I had it, but apparently I didn't. So I use primer. Boy, it can cover stuff and it can make stuff pop out. So I'll keep working on it. I don't know if you're familiar with with the style rims. I got the beauty rings that go on these, so the outside disc gets beat up like crazy from the metal brackets that, you know, kind of bind it in there. So that part doesn't matter, but it's the face. It's that star pattern on the Rally 2s that has to look good when you're done. That's what people are going to see. There's a metal cap that goes in the middle. I've got new ones of those. And then the rest of the rim, you don't see. Either covered up by tire or it's facing the back. So I'll get them all cleaned up here, and I'll probably bring it back when I'm ready to paint. All right, I honestly don't remember where I left off. I did get the rims all painted. They are as good as they're going to get. I got tires ordered. They're going to get put on the rims at noon on Friday, so that when I get back that afternoon with the rims, I can bring it in and get the alignment done. I've never had an official alignment done. I think I got it decently close, but with the price of tires, I don't want to wear through them any faster than I have to. I've been working on let's get these wheels off of here. I still got a rear axle leak. When I took it out last week, I still got a rear axle leak. So I'm gonna take a look at that while I've got it apart. Maybe I'll pop that axle out of there real quick and put some sealant. These are the bolt-in style axles because it's not a original GM 12 bolt. It's a 10 bolt out of like a Catalina. So we'll see what we can do about getting that sealed up so that stupid thing stops leaking. It's just a pain. I mean, I can add more fluid. It's not a big deal. It doesn't leak that much. I probably leaked about a quarter cup over the winter, but it still gets all over the rims and stuff. And I would love my new rims, well, old rims, my new old rims, not to get all nasty and get on the tires, and it'd be nice not to run the rear end out of fluid eventually, because I will forget the look. So let's get this thing up on jack stands, get these wheels off from under the car, so I'm ready for Friday. Oh, this tire is a beast. It's huge. I'll show you when I'm all done. I'm not going to bother moving the camera around. I don't have a lot of time. I got to get these on and get up there to get my alignment done. All right, I don't know if you can tell, but that looks so much better. The front is still higher than I want it. I have some lowering springs, but those are only an inch. The back, that fills it up way better. But that front's got to come down is the problem, not the back going up. So we'll drive it a little bit, see how she looks out on the street. It's a little hard to tell here in the garage. I got so much junk in the way. So I got got some extra rusty rims that I ended up with. I've got my original rims, so I'll have to find a home for all that stuff. But let's go get the front end aligned. All right, so now we got the new tires on there. Let's work on the rear wheel seal. I've been having a persistent leak. It's been getting worse and worse, and been putting it off. I wanted to do it over the winter, but it was a bit cold out here, and I didn't want to run that expensive electric heater. So it was 53 out yesterday, which means it's warm in the garage now, but it's only 35 outside at the moment, and it's supposedly going to snow tonight. So yay, Minnesota. But let's work on the rear wheel seal, and we'll get that replaced, and then maybe I can get my garage back. Put these tires out somewhere, these rims, store these, kind of get everything under control again. And then if you see the hood up on the car, I had a dead battery yesterday when I went to go drive it. Stupid ignition switch failed again. So it's starting to short out, and I've got a new one, and I'm going to be installing a push button start, a remote kill, and probably a battery disconnect. Last thing I want is this car to go up in flames, so I've got the hood slightly popped there because I actually disconnected the battery when I got home yesterday. So, wonderful things. I put the trim rings on, and they turned out pretty decent. Those are the ones I bought at a flea market last year, or swap meet, and they turned out pretty nice. I didn't put a lot of time into them. The center caps, I like the black look. I have the PMD chrome ones. I'm not sure if I want to put them on just yet. They're kind of expensive. So we'll hold off. They'll fit either the 14 or the 15s. So I'm gonna hold off on putting them on just yet. All right, let's get this off of here. Replace this axle seal before ends up ruining this rim too. All right, set that right there. And so this is, if you've been following along at all on the channel, this is not a 12 bolt GTO rear end. It is a 10 bolt from like a Catalina or Bonneville. It's a big car axle. It's a 10. It is a 10 bolt though, and I did put a limited slip Jegs no name rear end in it, and for the limited slip part, and it's been working great. So what I got to do now is got to take, yeah, this is getting all just greasy in here from this seal being shot. So this will take care of that hopefully. So there's 4 bolts that hold this in, and I'm going to have to jack up both sides on jack stands because otherwise I can't move the, I can't turn the axle. Because I ought to be able to reach the 4 bolts, and can't do that with this thing in the way. So, and because this is a bolt-in rear end, it doesn't have a C-clip, so I don't have to take the differential apart. I just have to take these 4 bolts out, and the whole axle slides out. But anyhow, now the axle will just literally pull right out. Now, apparently, what I'm missing is there's a seal that's supposed to be in here, and I must have taken it out when I did the axle and never noticed. So I bought some new seals. Let me go get them real quick. I'll turn the light on a little brighter here. What I'm guessing is that I never, well, how does that go in there then? I believe this is the correct one now. I think it goes in here like that, so it would actually be on the axle like this. Welcome back to Do It Over Again Garage. Oh my gosh. So, if something doesn't seem right, might not be. It's the next day. I went ahead and slept on it a little bit. There's not a lot of videos on these axles. I don't know why. And my understanding is the C-clip ones, they don't want you to use the drag strip or they're not preferred for burnouts. So these are the more preferred axle, but it's also not the 12 bolts. So that's why there's not a lot of videos on the 10 bolt bolt-in axles. So I am fairly certain what's happening here is I'm dragging on this stupid seal that I put in. So I either put it in backwards, and that's why it's dragging, or it's just not seated all the way, which I think I should. Some of this video is going to be kind of crazy. There's this lock washers I was trying to use to supplement stuff. Yeah, it's dragging on that seal. Let's pull this whole axle out and start over again. Okay. So that is not going to work. that is either not in there all the way, or I've got it inside out. I think I've got it inside out, to be honest with you. I think I've got it backwards. I think that seal was supposed to point that way, not this way. Although this way makes more sense because it would seat up against this. But then again, with that rubber rubbing, well, let's see if it'll tap in a little further. I don't think it will. I think I had it as far as it would go. And it didn't go in there that hard. Yeah, so she'll pop back out, I'm sure. I'm sure I can get it out without damaging it. If not, they're only like $10 for these seals. They aren't bad. Yeah, there we go. And of course, with anything you do like that, you want to try to do them evenly. That was not ideal to have that pop that far out at one time. But we'll get her. Oh, come on. Don't really want to damage it. Okay. Now, so either that didn't go in all the way, or this was supposed to go in this direction, which is, I highly suspect, that's the direction it was supposed to go in. Pretty sure that's what this lip goes up on. So I am pretty sure that I just had it in backwards. Okay, let me go get a socket or something that fits this so I can push it in there rather than trying to hammer it. Oh, did I get it square finally? Oh, there we go. Huh. She finally went in square. There we go. Guys that have probably done this 1,000 times are laughing at me like, what a dummy. Why would he put that in backwards? But I don't think there was ever one in here to start with. And 90% sure, no, didn't damage that rubber at all. That is not going to leak. We're going to be good. All right. And that rubber seal fit beautifully on that part of the shaft. So, there we go. But I tell you what, it's going to leak a lot less than no seal at all. Okay, avoid dragging that as I'm putting it in there. Now this should also help now when I go to tighten this up. This shouldn't squash this poor bearing. Because that's kind of what was happening. There. Oh, I even... Did I... Yeah, that didn't line it up. There's one of the bolts. Okay. Now, let's see if we can put this together. Oh, and I got some Loctite. I had bought a whole bunch of them. I bought a bunch of Loctite. Blue Loctite, and couldn't find it. Then I remembered I put it in the furnace room so that it would, I didn't want it to get cold or frozen out in the garage. All right, so there we go. Loctite on the bolt, or on the nut. Might help if I put the plate up there. Plate only goes on one direction. You can't miss it. It has a gap on the bottom. and it's a rhombus, so it's wider on top than it is on the bottom. So you can only get it on. You can only get it on there one way. You can't mess. I mean, so you could mess it up. I'm pretty good at messing things up, but it will only fit one way. Okay, so that's on there, and you want to bring these down. You want to bring them down evenly. I'm not going to even tighten that one up yet. It shouldn't take that much to turn the wheel. The only thing you're fighting on is the brake drum on the other side. If you have it adjusted proper, there should be some slight drag back up to where we started. Now I'm actually going to start tightening them, and the axle shouldn't get any tighter unless you really over torque them. A little bit more. There. Yeah, remember I'm turning the whole tire on the other side too, so. There we go. I'm glad I slept on that. It just didn't seem right. Yeah, and you should be able to torque that down pretty good without it affecting the bearing. So I think what was doing is it wasn't crushing the bearing, but the bearing was pushing on the edge of the bearing, or on the edge of that, gasket. So it was pushing on the face of that gasket and causing problems. So now feel a lot better about that. I'm going to go replace the one on the other side now too. Oh, I feel way better about that. Sometimes you got to sleep on things. Notice how it works like a regular drill when you don't pull the trigger all the way? Yeah. It's absolutely safe to put your rim on this way. Get them all centered up until you end up getting the amount of torque. It's not going to start rattling. That way you know you have them all lined up. If you're in a hurry, then yeah, you're going to have problems. But there we go. One axle seal replaced. It's in the proper way now. It's not binding. Everything's spinning like it should. A little bit of brake drag here and there, which is absolutely acceptable. I'm going to go do the other side. Probably won't film that because I showed you what I was doing here. But yeah, these are bolt-in axles, not C-clips. So that's how you do that. And apparently I had the seal in there backwards. Hey, never claimed to be a professional. Just trying to do stuff at home like a lot of you are. That's why you're maybe even watching this video. But you can figure things out. And if something doesn't seem right, stop. I mean, you don't have to keep going. Don't have to force it. Now I feel a lot more comfortable about that. I've got some Loctite on those bolts that I never had before. I'm going to go do the other side, and then I'll be back. Alright, so she's all back together. I did the other side, no problems at all. that seal does go in with the kind of the pocket facing out with the seal toward the inside. No binding problems. Use Loctite on everything. It's all bolted in. I feel a lot better about it. I've got to fill up the rear end with fluid because she basically leaked all winter. She still had some in there when I was pulling it out this side, so I just got to top that off, make sure that's good. I'm going to leave it up on jack stands for now. It needs an oil change. And then the other day, the next video is going to be the ignition switch again. Probably my third or fourth one since I bought the car. They just don't make them very well. And whenever you're cranking on them, and they tend to short out on the inside. So I'm going to put in a separate switch, a push button start. You know, probably down on the floor, somewhere hidden. And then also a separate kill switch, which obviously I won't show you where I'm going to do that, but I'll demonstrate that, you know, pushing the buttons and stuff doesn't work. We'll put in a kill switch for extra safety and security. But those stupid ignition switches, they're just so horribly made. So the key will still work for on, off, accessory, that stuff, but for the actual start, it's not going to have any power to the start because the electronics inside of there are just so horrible. I'll have it to on and run, and then we'll have a push button start to start it up. So anyway, thanks for following along. Like, share, subscribe, all that great things. I hope I got some decent footage of that. I apologize. It's been a couple months since I did any videos. Trying to get the car ready for car show season. It snowed out today. I think I posted that on Instagram that it snowed. So anyway, I'm really loving the new tires. I can't wait to get out and actually drive the car a little bit more. It made about a 5 to 7 mile per hour difference on the speedometer. Might actually be almost 10 because I think I was a little low before. Now it's a little high. And it dropped the RPM considerably. So now at 3,000 RPM, I'm going almost 70, like 68. So that should be a lot better for traveling. Before I was 3,300 RPM at 65. 3,300 RPM was like 66. So it was pretty rough. These motors are just not made for that RPM. Got plenty of torque. Obviously, overdrive would be ideal, but I really don't want to switch out the TH400 right now. It's in there, it's working great. Maybe if it fails at some point, I'll consider an overdrive. I looked into the gear vendors, and that's just not worth it. You're better off going with an overdrive that's built for the power. I'm not ridiculous on power anyway. I'm not drag racing. So if I have to go to that point, I'll do something with an overdrive rather than trying to do the gear vendors thing, which are like $3 grand. No, thank you. That's not in my budget. I mean, I could, but that's not what the average person does. Anyway, thanks again for following along, and we'll see you in the next video, everybody. Bye.